Hello, welcome to the Disco Apocalypse. Okay, I want to talk about this movie because I thought it's kind of interesting for a few different reasons. This is a movie called Bitch Slap. That came out in 2010. It was directed by Rick Jacobson. Uh, this is basically kind of a throwback to the old like exploitation movies from like the 60s and 70s. I would probably describe it as kind of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill meets 70s drive-in movies with a little bit of Quentin Tarantino thrown in there. It was directed by Rick Jacobson, and it stars Julia Vaught, Aaron Cummings, and America Olivo. I think that's how you say her name. I apologize if I said it wrong. Um, Rick Jacobson, I believe, directed some of the episodes of the old Hercules and Xena TV shows and a few other things. And if you, Kevin Sorbo has a bit part in here. And if you look real close, Lucy Lawless and the actress that played her sidekick on Xena also make a cameo appearance in this film. And basically, it's just basically TNA, guns, violence, fights, and stuff blowing up. After I watched it, I tried to go online and find out information about the film, and I ran across a bunch of like reviews and things like that. And some of the people kind of described it as, some people said it's a movie long beer commercial, and somebody else said it was like, Maxim magazine come to life or whatever. Basically that it, pushes these certain buttons of, you know, stuff that guys like in movies. You've got your beautiful women, you've got your action, there's a little bit of suspense and things like that, but it's just all that stuff, and it's like all in your face. Basically, the plot is there's these three women. One lady is supposed to be some sort of businesswoman or something. The other girl is a kind of a street tough jailbird lady, and the third woman is a stripper or whatever. And basically, they've kind of joined forces because they want to get the loot that is hidden by this low-level mob guy. I guess he's supposed to be a mob guy or whatever. So they're at his trailer in the desert, and they're trying to figure out, where he's either hid the money or, buried it or whatever. Actually, it turns out to be diamonds or whatever, but, that's basically the setup. And while they're out there trying to find, where the loot is, people come upon the scene, things happen, the women's loyalty is tested, people turn against each other, and at the same time, there's lots of flashbacks in the film where we kind of get to see everybody's backstory and what happened previously and how we all got to this particular spot. So it's actually pretty interesting in that regard. I actually like how much plot. There's a lot of just plot of things happening, going from point A to point B to point C in this film, and I was actually really surprised at that. I mean, there's a lot more story in here than you get in a lot of like mainstream flicks that come out these days. I'm also surprised that I actually like the fight scenes in here, or a couple of fight scenes anywhere. The fight scenes were choreographed by Zoe Bell. Zoe Bell is a pretty well-known stunt woman these days. I believe she worked on the Xena show. I'm pretty sure she was like Uma Thurman's stunt double in the Kill Bill movies. And she was in Death Proof. She was the lady on top of the car, So the fight scenes are good. I mean, it's this actual fight choreography. It's fists, it's elbows, it's semi martial arts. It's shots to the ribs. It's good fight stuff. Like I said, I had gone back to like I said, try to find out about the film, and I came across a lot of these reviews, and it got lots of negative reviews. I think for the most part, this is not a very well-liked movie. But I gotta say, for what it is, I kinda enjoyed it. I mean, it delivers on the major fronts that it's supposed to be delivering on. I mean, you can't take it doesn't take itself that seriously. I know there's one point where the women have like a water fight in the middle of the desert for like really no good reason, but it's kind of like, the filmmakers know it's silly and they know that it's silly. It's just there just to be wacky, you know what I mean? But getting back to the other negative review or the negative reviews I saw, I'm wondering if some of the people that did some of these reviews really got it, you know what I mean? I mean, I know they understand that it's, like I said, a throwback to these old trashy movies, but I wonder, it's not actually, even though there's lots of humor and there's kind of this wink wink nudge nudge tone to it, it's not really a parody of those movies or satire of those movies. I mean, for 3/4 of the movie, it is one of those movies, I mean, the fight scenes and the action scenes, most of them are there to be exciting. There's a couple of things that are there to be funny and stuff. And I will say that I'm a little bit disappointed because at one point things get just a little bit too over the top, where it does go into that kind of parody realm. But for the most part, like I said, it's just, it's TNA and action and stuff like that. And I kind of wonder if some of the people who did some of these reviews really got that. Like, if they ever, have seen some of those older movies and stuff, if they've ever seen, any Russ Meyer flicks, or if they've really seen, I don't know, like Caged Heat or Terminal Island or Coffee or Foxy Brown or stuff like that, you know what I mean? That's kind of what this movie really is. Even though it's, like I said, it kind of has a knowing nudge and there's lots of humor, it's one of those movies straight up. What else can I say about this? Oh, so I guess the next thing, which is a little bit serious, is, is this movie, I don't know. I don't want to say is it politically correct, because obviously it isn't. But is it necessarily demeaning or sexist or anything like that? I don't know. I mean, I saw somewhere where somebody quoted one of the filmmakers as saying it's kind of a movie about female empowerment, and I'm kind of like, yeah, kind of, sort of, but you know what? Not really. But I will say this. I don't think this movie is misogynistic. That is, I don't think the tone of the movie is mean-spirited or hateful towards women. I don't think it's sexist or chauvinistic in a sense that, it doesn't suggest that, women are not as capable as men. It doesn't suggest that, women are less than men, or that they should just, shut up and, not be involved in things or anything like that. I would say if it is empowering, it's maybe more in the sense that all the characters actually get to be full characters, and we can argue about how good or bad the movie is and how well the actresses are and the dialogue and stuff like that. But for the most part, all the characters do get to be their own character. They do have their own personalities. They do have their own goals. They do have their own ambitions and things like that. And they are supposed to be fully realized characters, you know what I mean? And they are presented as, fairly capable people within the context of, the hijinks and whatnot that go on here. I do think the movie and some of the dialogue, it's not quite as clever as it thinks it is. I think it kind of fails once or twice with all the kind of, witty banter and stuff like that. But it is entertaining. I would say, but just getting back to the point I was making a moment ago, there's so many more mainstream television shows and movies that come out where they have female characters there, and they're obviously just there to be eye candy, and that's it, or they're just there to be the damsel in distress, or they're just there to be the object of desire. And in a way, the women here are kind of the object of desire, but they aren't just the object of desire. Like I said, they all have their own motivations and capabilities and things like that. You know, I wouldn't go around and take this to, I don't know, the National Organization Women, or I wouldn't show it to like Sarah Palin or Hillary Clinton or somebody like that and say, hey, here's a feminist movie, because I don't think that's what this is. It's obviously there to, like, you know, turn on guys in a way, but you know what? Just because it's there, certain things are there for the male gaze or whatever, it doesn't automatically make it, you know, demeaning or anything like that. And I think that's another reason why some of the people probably didn't probably didn't cotton to the film. You know, it's not, you can't say that the movie is like chauvinistic, despite all the breast and the high heels and the desert and all that. The female characters do, you know, are characters, you know, and I think some people probably just expected it to be like a parody or a satire, and like I said, it really isn't. It actually is a exploitation B flick. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this film. If anybody's seen this movie, or if anybody like watches like, you know, old school, you know, B movies and drive-in movies and stuff like that, you know, let me know what you think. You know what I mean? Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks a lot, and you have a good one.